Hello, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Tag You're It. And I was just asking God to give me some truth, authenticity, and things that'll help everyone grow. And so I talked about last time me reading this book by John Maxwell, The 360-Degree Leader. And so I read it the first time, took notes, and God had put it on my heart to share my notes and what I got out of the book, basically a book summary. And so I read it the first time, took the notes or whatever, and they were kind of discombobulated and all over the place. And so I went through the book again after I highlighted it and took my notes. And I went back through the book and just re-got everything that was important. And I retook the notes and all. And so here goes the first video about a book summary of the 360-Degree Leader. I'm just asking God that's able to give you even just one golden nugget to carry you through as a leader and just as a great individual. And so this is my first one, and I'm hoping that you are able to resonate with anything from the book. And this is just a little summary of what I thought was the most important things. So if you resonate with this summary or get anything out of it, I definitely recommend checking the book out for yourself. I got the audio and the regular book, and I've listened to the audio a bunch of times as I was going to sleep, basically every night for about 3 weeks. And I read the book during that time as well, 2 times. And so this is just the accumulation of everything that I got, what I thought was important. And I'm just hoping that I can get my notes through you in the best way possible. Welcome. So number 1, 99% of all leadership occurs from the middle of an organization. Usually there's only one top leader at every organization. And after that, everything else trickles down into each individual. So there can be managers within an organization, the CEO, after the owner, and then there's the workers. And 99% of leadership, usually there's only one leader at the top. And the other 99% happens within the organization. And that's what this book is also mainly talking about, is you need to be a leader where you are today, no matter what position or circumstance you are in. And so the number one myth of influence is that it is your title or position. So most people think that I need that title or that position before I can influence others and before I can become a true leader. So most of us wait for that title to be given to us, or we try to go get degrees, or we just try to suck up to the boss so that he can give us the power to give us that title. And that is the number one myth that we face. And so he talks about leading in a 360 from every direction up. So you're going to be in the middle. So he teaches you how to lead up, your co-workers on the side of you, and the other people on your level, and then the people below you. Whether that's a customer or just anywhere you are, there's usually people below you. And in an organization, it's usually the customer. So you need to learn how to take care of them and treat them with respect as well, so that they want to be led by you, even in the middle of the organization. So true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more or nothing less. Let me say that again, because this is very important and this is a big staple in the book. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more or nothing less. And in the book, he talks about there's 5 levels of leadership. And I'll just name the 5, but he goes in more in depth in each one. So the position, this is the first level, which is the biggest myth. Like, you need the title or your position to be a leader. And then the next one is permission. And then the next one is production. And then the next one is people development. And the last is personhood, which is where you can't put yourself, but other people put you there, because that's just how much of an effective leader you are. Our job is to focus on people development and get there. And so that should be our biggest goals as individual leaders, is to help people develop and help them grow. And so leadership is a choice that you make, not a place that you sit. Let me say that again. Leadership is a choice that you make and not a place that you sit. And so a big reference in the book that John Maxwell speaks about is disposition over position. And he also talks about how influence must be earned with each individual. And you start at the bottom with each individual as well. And the higher you go up, the more responsibilities you get, usually with more authority. And so, no matter where you are in the organization, you should strive to be the best. Strive to be at the top of your game, not the top of the organization. So yeah, you should strive to be your best and do your best, and not to be at the top of the organization. Each of us should work to reach our full potential. The authority you possess in the middle is not your own, it's alone. Unless you are the CEO or the owner of the company, you are given responsibilities and authority that you must agree with, and that you must follow a certain set of rules for you to have that responsibility and authority within the organization. And so the CEO or whoever is the owner empowers you so that they are defining the parameters in which you are allowed to operate. And then they set you free. So they give you the job title and they let you know what the parameters are that they expect out of you. And so the number one characteristic of leadership is the ability to make things happen. Environment of the organization's DNA is the personality of the leader. So each organization has a different personality, and that is going to be based upon the leader. And the DNA is going to be structured on that foundation. And so being in the middle can be a great place as long as you have bought into the vision and believe in the leader. So no matter where you are, being in the middle can be a great place as long as you have bought into the vision and believe in the leader. Those are two very important things. And once you are given the power, you should never violate your position or the trust of the leader. Trust is built one block at a time, but when it is violated, the entire wall comes crashing down. And so your character and integrity will be tested as a leader. And your job is not to fix the leader in the middle. It's to add value to the leader. And if the leader won't change, then you need to change your attitude or your work address. And leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Again, your job in the middle leader is to add value to the organization and the leader. You are given certain responsibilities because you are perceived as that you are going to be adding value to the organization or the leader. And our greatest limitation isn't the leader above us, but the spirit within us. Unless it's unethical or a crime, we should always oblige to what the leader's vision is and play our position and play our role. And the middle leaders experience the multi-hat challenge on a daily basis. Middle leaders need to be good at many different things, and they are asked to do many different things. And so you need to know what hat you're wearing during that role, whatever you're doing. And the goal often determines the role and the approach that we take. So he talks about Your role could be a father, a husband, a co-worker, a business owner, and each one of those roles requires a different hat. You don't treat your co-workers the same as your wife, your children, and your children the same as your wife, or your co-workers in that manner as well. So you need to know which hat you're wearing and what goal you are going after so that you know which hat to wear and what role to play. And when changing hats, don't change your personality. Your attitude and behavior should be consistent and predictable with everyone. So no matter if you're with your wife, children, co-workers, or anyone else, your attitude and behavior should be consistent and predictable. Successful leaders are like icebergs. That 10% at the top we see, and that's what many of us get caught up in. We see the leader with the 10%, we're like, man, I want to do that. But we don't see the 90% that they do underwater. That's really how they got there. And that's basically the subconscious that we can't see. And so we need to be focused more on the full picture of what it takes to really get there. Because just that small little image of what we see can be very fraudulent or very misleading is the best word I'll say. It can be very misleading. And so let's look at the rest that's under that water and how that leader got there and what his responsibilities are and what he does every day. And so the challenge is to be a team player. build relationships with them. And that is what derives fulfillment wherever you are. And And teamwork is what creates success. You can either be a star player or a team. And the team is always going to outdo the star player. Every team that wins a championship is a team. They don't have this one star player. Even Jordan had a great team. You know who was on his team. Pippen, Kerr, Rodman, I don't even have to name. But there's never just one all-star or a superstar on a team is why they win. Never. So teamwork is always what creates success. And our job is to gain experience and maturity. And maturity doesn't come with age. It begins with acceptance of responsibility. That's deep. Maturity doesn't come with age, so I don't care about your age. It begins with the acceptance of responsibility. And so again, focus on the responsibilities that are in front of you, before you, at hand, doing them with excellence. And that will give you great fulfillment. And the key to everything is patience. Patience is what gives you the time to learn, network, and gain wisdom. Leadership is really about helping others to win. Championing the vision can be difficult when you weren't the one who created it. I know that firsthand, but working for others' vision was always a big problem for me because it wasn't my vision. I didn't champion it, I didn't create it. But to get to where you want to go, you have to help other people's visions come to fruition. And the more you invest in the vision, the more it becomes your own. So you must be willing to do what others want. Whatever it takes attitude is what the top leaders love. You will have to pay the price to get the prize. And everything in life has an exact price. You have to decide whether the price is worth the prize. And it's best to work in silence and obscurity and let others be known and let your efforts be known by the results. So rather than bragging about what you're doing and letting people know, it's best to work silently and obscurely so that your results and efforts may be known low-key. And the key is to do something because it matters, not because you will get noticed. And so you should take risks. Don't play it safe. You can't play it safe because then you won't stand out. You can't play it safe and stand out at the same time. And don't bet with other people's money. If you're gonna bet and risk, put yourself on the line. Play it smart, but don't play it safe. There's only two actions in life: performance and excuses. And you should do more than what you were expected. You should know the goal, not your role. Know the goal, not your role. Focus on the goal, not your role. Take responsibility for your responsibilities and follow through with them 100%. And so the difference between managers and leaders is that managers work with processes. Leaders work with people. And you need both for a successful organization. Management is about control. Leading is about release. And we should learn to think like a leader, think like people, think progression, think intangibles. All good leadership is based on relationships. All people have dreams, issues, and causes that connect with them. And as a leader, we should get to know what those are so that we can get the best out of our people. For all leaders, time is precious. Be prepared when talking to leaders and taking their time. Bring something to the table. Don't just be a guest, which is just being served. No one likes anyone that is just coming to be fed and coming to be served. And we all enjoy someone who's coming either with their own table or bringing something to the table. So you can bring resources, ideas, which is the most important, most valuable, or opportunities. And connection is the goal. Learn to speak the boss's language. And always get to the bottom line, because leaders care about results. So don't be wiggly woggling around. Get straight to the point, the bottom line. And never mind the delivery, just show me the baby. So we don't care how it gets here, just give us the results. Never mind the delivery, just show me the baby. And leaders prefer effectiveness over perfection. And responsibilities are more important than personal agenda. Leaders are like forecasters. They are able to read the atmosphere of every room that they walk into. And timing is everything. If you're too late, that's bad. Too early, that's bad. Leaders must hasten slowly, right time for everyone before making a move. And we should desire to become a go-to player, which make things happen. Go-to players demonstrate consistency, competence, responsibility, and dependability. Go-to players always produce, especially when the pressure is on. Go-to players always deliver the goods, no matter the situation. Personal development equals growth-oriented, not goal-oriented. So we should always be striving to be better tomorrow than we are today. And the more growth equals the more value that you're able to provide. The secret to success can be found in your daily agenda. And the only way to grow is to get out your comfort zone and try new things. So we should help our peers to win and get their respect for them to follow us. And understand, practice, and complete the leadership loop. He talks about a leadership loop in the book. I'm not going to go into that, but there's 7 stages, which are caring, learning, appreciation, contributing, verbalizing, leading, and succeeding. And so we should look for value in every person and put ourselves in their shoes. And people move towards someone who increases them and away from people who decrease them. So we should always be looking to add value to everyone around us so that they flock to us and that they come to us. And we should get to know their stories, their best skills, and appreciate their differences. And so we should contribute to everyone around us by adding value to them. So don't keep your best stuff to yourself. Fill in the people's gaps. Don't exploit their gaps. If you know a weakness and you see it, don't exploit it. Fix it and cover it up and help them. And so your favorite teacher, if I were to ask you that question, is the one who affirmed you and made you feel good about yourself. And so become your peer's best cheerleader. Compliment them, praise them, acknowledge them. You must help your peers win for them to follow you. Good leaders balance vision in their dream and motivation to help others succeed. Those are the 2 motivations that the leaders must balance, the vision and the motivation to help others succeed. That perfect concoction will be a winning sauce to help the organization. So we lead people so that we can all win together, and we complete our leaders instead of competing with them. Organizations need both to be successful, competition and teamwork. And so we should desire to be a friend. Everyone desires a friend. Friendship is in the spiritual inspiration that comes to one when he discovers that someone else believes in him and is willing to trust him. So a friend is someone that believes and trusts in you. Friendship is foundation of influence and a sure refuge. Make it your goal to be a friend, not to find a friend. Let me say that again. Make it your goal to be a friend and not to find a friend. You can start with listening. Most basic human need is to be understood. And to be understood, you must listen so that you can understand them. So find common ground, not related to work. Be available beyond business hours. True friendship is being available. And have a sense of humor, because laughter is the closest distance between 2 people. Your best friend is someone who brings out the best that is within you. So tell friends the truth and encourage them. That's what's going to bring the best out of them, by telling them the truth and encouraging them. A friend is one who warns you. So if you see a friend going down the wrong path, it is your duty and your job to warn them. And there's two ways to possibly get ahead: production and politics. Politics is changing your position to get an advantage or to get on the winning side. Politics desire to get ahead instead of a desire for excellence, productivity, teamwork, or consistency. And so the best way to do that is avoid gossip. Great people talk about ideas. Small people talk about others. And so we should stand up for what's right, not just for what's popular. And we should follow the golden rule in everything that we do, which is treat others the way that we want to be treated. And as I was reading that, I wanted to throw in, because I thought this was pretty deep, but treat others how they want to be treated. Because not everyone wants to be treated with kindness and respect and just love, because they don't even have that for themselves. So I suggest treat them how they want to be treated. But in the book he says the golden rule, so that's what we'll stick to. And so always stand up when someone isn't being treated right. If you see someone being treated the way that you wouldn't want to be treated, stand up for that. That is a powerful move, especially for people below you. When you stand up for something that isn't right, or they're being treated in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated. And so we should build trust with people. Say what you mean and mean what you said. Developing trust equals being competent, credible, and consistent. And we must expand our circle of acquaintances to gain and expand our influence. We can't grow and stay the same at the same time. It will be uncomfortable to grow. Expanding networks, ideas. People are like rubber bands. We're more valuable when we're stretched than when we're at rest. Stretch and get more out of your comfort zone. Man's greatest assets are his ideas. Don't pretend to be perfect. Be real. Admit your faults. Each person we meet has the potential to teach us something. Don't try to impress people if we want to influence them. Instead of impressing others, let them impress you. Charismatic people focus on others, not themselves. Always do your best. It is where leadership starts. The bottom line is success of whole team is more important than the individual wins. And we should embrace healthy competition because it promotes healthy assessment. The whole goal of healthy competition is to leverage it for the corporate win. And influence, the I he talks about, this is basically an acronym. The I is for integrity, the N for nurturing, the F for faith, L for listening, U for understanding, E for enlarge, N for navigating, C for connecting, and E for empowering. That's a great acronym of influence that we should be striving for. And as a middle leader, we should be championing the vision, which can be difficult, as I said earlier, when you didn't create it. But once you invest in the vision more, it starts to become yours. And so, yes, it will be tough championing a vision that you didn't generate. Even though your vision may excite you more than someone else's, to get the opportunity to pursue your own dreams, you will almost certainly have to succeed in achieving the dreams of others. People buy into the leader, not the vision. So again, you must believe in the leader. That's super important because people buy into the leader, not the vision. In organizations, the visions lead. So the vision must continually be communicated clearly, creatively, and continually. And at the very least, do good with employees and find a way to align yourself with the vision of the organization. And championing the vision equals making the vision of the leader a reality, from me to we. So we need to add value to the vision, contribute it. And again, leadership is influence. So we should develop and exhibit the kind of character that we admire, because that is what people see. They're going to follow what they see. So you should develop and exhibit the character that you admire, that you want the people to have. And everyone has the right to speak, but not everyone has the right to be heard. Poor leaders demand respect. Competent leaders command respect. Again, poor leaders demand respect. Competent leaders command respect. And confidence is you think you can. And competence is you actually really can. And so, if you want to get ahead, leading up is much better than kissing up. And consistency isn't easy for everybody, because it's contrary to our natural nature. The only completely consistent people are the dead. The underlying strategy should be to support the leader and to add value to the organization and distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack by doing the work with excellence, consistently. Then the leaders above you will notice you and trust you and start looking to you for advice. And so to lead well, you must lead yourself exceptionally well. That's where leadership starts. If you wouldn't follow yourself, why should anyone else? Keep leading yourself. The key to leading yourself is self-management. Successful people make the right decisions early and manage those decisions daily. The reality is that we need to make a few critical decisions in major areas of our life and then manage those decisions day to day. For example, our New Year's resolutions. We need to have a few major areas of life that we choose. And then it's tough to manage those decisions daily, those little micro decisions. That's the hard part. But we can all come up with the grandiose, what we really want. But the small decisions are what's going to get you there. And managing them day to day is how you're going to progress. And so making a decision to do it isn't the hard part, but managing that decision and following through is the most difficult part of that. And following through requires self-management, which is the ability to manage yourself. And that makes a great impression on your leader/boss, because you're maximizing the opportunities and leveraging your personal strengths. And you must manage your emotions, time, priorities, energy, thinking, words, and personal life. Good leaders know when to display emotions and when to delay them. Time is valuable. Until you value yourself, you will not value your time. That's deep. Until you value yourself, you will not value your time. And until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. And so people pay things with their time. Like some people may be like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy that house in 5 years. That means that it's going to cost them 5 years of their life to get that house. And so when people say spending time, it's not a metaphor, but it's how actually life really works. Ideally, 80% of your time should be used working where your strengths are, where you're strongest. 15% of the time should be used where you're learning. And 5% of the time should be in other necessary areas of life. Most of us lead busy lives, but undisciplined lives. That's deep. Most of us lead busy lives, but undisciplined lives. And the key to making the shift is in priorities, is your decision, is your discipline. So yeah, discipline is what's going to get you to that goal, not being busy. Discipline. And the greatest enemy of good thinking is busyness. So your mind will give you exactly what you put into it. So a minute of thinking is often more valuable than an hour of talking and unplanned work. Show me what you can do. Don't just tell me what you can do. Leaders value actions more than words. And they also make their words count. You can do everything right at work and manage yourself there, but if your personal life is a mess, it will eventually turn everything else sour. And so your goal should be to lighten your leader's load, either lifting people up. You're either lifting people up or down. And the top leaders can never let go of final responsibility. And motives and intentions matter. Lift up the leader, don't suck up to the leader. So why are you motivating? Why are you motivating, and what are your intentions with helping the leader? So we should be a team player. We should do whatever it takes to succeed. Lifting makes you a part of something bigger and gets you noticed. It's not how heavy the load is, it's how you carry it. Lifting increases your value and influence and shows your gratitude for being a part of the team. To lift the leader's load is to do your own job well first, and then two, find a problem and provide a solution. Leaders tell the leaders what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Go the extra mile. Stand up for your leader whenever you can. Stand in and ask, how can I help lift your load? Good leaders want the truth even if it hurts. I am there to serve the leader who invited me. I want to add value to the leader and lift their load. Leadership must be based on goodwill. It means obvious and wholehearted commitment to helping followers. Take the time to walk slowly through the halls, connecting with people, and give them the opportunity to make contact with you. Slow down to connect with people as you travel. Go at their speed. People who run alone are always faster, but when you go together, the payoff comes at the back end with leadership. And so it's not what people say, but it's what they do, their actions. And so many people, they are quick to bring you the good news, but avoid bringing you the bad news. So always be asking yourself, like, what's missing from this? Usually so-and-so does this and that, but today they didn't tell me anything. Or they don't have like any bad news, like they aren't letting me know anything, because usually they only bring you the good news. And so we should be visible, available, and connected. And you should also see everyone as a 10. And by seeing them as a 10, that means you build up people by encouragement, you give people credit and acknowledge them. You give people recognition by gratitude. And so develop the people. Developing people shows that you are equipping them with what they need. Equipping them with the right knowledge. Equipping is teaching them. Teach them how to do it. Train them, show them. That should be a given. So there's a difference between developing someone and equipping. Usually every job equips you. They show you how to do it, they teach you how to do the job, but they don't develop you. Developing is more about you improving as an individual and helping you to acquire personal qualities like discipline, positive mental attitude, and that can carry you through every aspect of life. Even time management can go into that category. And even being more effective and improving your people skills is in that category as well. And again, you cannot give what you do not have. So you must keep growing yourself. And ignore what a man desires, and you ignore the source of his power. And equipping, again, equals getting your needs met, and development is getting their needs met. Lead everyone differently because not everyone is the same, but treat everyone with kindness and respect. First responsibility of a leader is to define reality. A person can't be realistic about his potential until he is realistic about his position. Almost all growth comes when we have a positive response to negative things. We must pay the price for growth. Experience alone isn't good enough, teacher. Evaluated experience is. So experience alone isn't a good enough teacher, but evaluated experience is. The number one reason why people don't like their jobs is because they are not working in the area of their strengths. People work lives other than the area of their life. Like, other people are working in areas of their life where they're not fulfilled and where they're weak at, and therefore their job satisfaction is not happy. When a leader's identity and actions are consistent, so are his results. Leaders must be what they desire to see. Your character determines whether people trust you or not. When it comes to trust, the only passing grade is 100%. Teach what you know. You teach what you know, but you reproduce what you are. And so take the vision from me to we. That is ownership. And reward for results. Reward for results, because whatever you reward is what is going to get done. Whatever actions leaders reward is what will be repeated. Don't reward everyone the same. You praise efforts, but reward results. Focus on what you can give and not what you can get. By giving more, you get more. Team of people is always more powerful than an individual working alone. Leadership is what makes the difference, and at every level of the organization. Everything rides and falls on leadership. Leaders are always headed somewhere. They have vision. All good leaders are decision makers. Leadership starts wherever you are and not where you want to be. You must know where you are now to get where you are going. Each time you decide to grow again, you are starting from the bottom of the ladder. Good leaders maximize performance of those on the team. They set direction, they inspire people, and they help them work together. They get results. And iron sharpens iron. Good leaders make the whole organization better. You can add value to others simply by having the right qualities. Those qualities are adaptability, discernment, perspective, communication, security, servanthood, resourcefulness, maturity, endurance, and accountability. Blessed are the flexible because they will not bend out of shape. Leadership is seeing opportunities in tough times. And security is finding identity in yourself and not in your position. You should focus more on impact rather than position. The true measure of leadership is not the number of people you serve, but the number of people you serve. The true measure of leadership is not the number of people who serve you, but the number of people you serve. That's how it's supposed to sound. Again, the true measure of leadership is not the number of people who serve you, but the number of people that you serve. And you should always be asking, am I becoming all that I can be? That's an important question. Am I becoming all that I can be? And we should all adapt the attitude of servant first, leader second. Everything leaders do is based in measure of light by the value they can add. Do more with less and find creative ways to make things happen. Maturity is putting the team before yourself. Leadership is an endurance race, remaining consistent in character and competence in the long run. Accountability can be counted on when it counts. People don't have company. People don't leave their company, they leave their leader. Place a high value on people and only commit to things that you value. Most leaders only focus on vision, what excites them the most, and the bottom line, what keeps them in business. But if you focus on the people, you have potential to win the people, the vision, and the bottom line. So place a high value on leadership. And leadership is always in play when anytime there are two or more people working together. Leadership is action. You can't learn without actually leading. Leadership, by its nature, is challenging. You have to question, you have to get ideas, and you take risks. And never forget, what gets rewarded is what gets done. And so try taking on the role of a wise counselor and chief encourager. And you should grow with the people. Make growth a top priority. 80% of leaders are there because someone mentored them into leadership. So it's best to get a mentor so that you can be guided into leadership. Because that's how most people do it, and that's just the most proven way of effective leadership. And so an analogy that John Maxwell uses in the book is that it's better to have a group of deer led by a lion than a lion led by a group of deer, because the deer will act like a pride of lions when led by a lion. And so people start to think, speak, and act like their leader. So we need to be giving the best to our people. And a leader is best when the people barely know he exists, says Lao Tzu. Best leaders help others to succeed. They lead, empower, and then they get out of the way. So that's essentially the notes that I've taken on leadership. And that was a lot. And sometimes throughout the message it was unclear and I stumbled a little bit. But I did do my best, and hopefully I will be progressing and improving as I go along. And so if you have any recommendations and any ways that I can improve, anything that you liked about this, because I do plan on doing a book review every 21 to 30 days. So this was my first one, and like I said, it was a little bit all over the place. And next time I do plan on getting more focused and dialed in on what I want to speak about and on my notes. This was just the raw, just get it out there. And as a leader, I will be progressing and getting better with the content and the message. But please let me know how this was for you. And thank you.